Is up, YouTube? Back out here in the garage with the rally hatch, and today's video is going to be all about D-series engines. I'm going to talk about the engine setup I got in the rally hatch right now, and then I'm going to show off the Z6 I'm building. Also, I got these valve covers here that I just got done at Express Powder Coat. Another black one that I'm going to put on the car right now, so check it out. Alright, this is a good old D15B2. You can see right here. Yeah, it's got D15B7 head. I had this head laying around for a while. I actually ported and polished the exhaust side. I matched the gasket to all the exhaust runners there and ground all the way back to the valve to enlarge them. So it's faster, you know. I ground the valve slides. I ground those all the way back too inside the runners. Then I polished it. Other than that, I've had this whole engine apart a couple times. The last time I had it apart, I replaced the rings, all the bearings, the seals, but it's still leaking bad. I'm pretty sure that cheap O'Reilly's oil pan gasket seal, that blue one, I'm sure everybody recognizes it. That thing leaks all the time. Another leak, these DC headers are all cracked. You see the black line right there at the weld, that's a crack. I got some other headers to put on here. The exhaust is about 2.5 inches all the way back. It's got a MagnaFlow muffler. It's got a B7 cam gear on here. These things are always hard at timing. I just did the head gasket on here. Probably too much two-step. It wasn't really blown. I seen a black mark, but coolant was burning. I just slapped the head gasket on there. I didn't change anything or have it milled, and it's been doing good. I don't know how long it's going to do good. Here sits a cheap eBay fuel pressure regulator. I've had it for at least 3 years and it's been working great. I keep my fuel pressure at about 60. I still got the stock fuel pump. It's a Z6 fuel rail, and I had to modify it here to get the fuel pressure regulator to mount to it. But it goes around there on the brake line, and then it comes under and goes back for the return over here. Here we got the Z6 intake manifold. I think these are B-series injectors. From what I understand, they all flow the same, but they work here on the setup. The steel braided lines, one comes from the valve cover there, as you can see, and the other one goes down to the breather for the crankcase. I just put a nipple on it and plugged it in right there. And then here I got an oil catch can, again from Amazon. I'll be saying that a lot. I get lots of parts from Amazon, and it actually works pretty good. It just vents to the atmosphere here. Got the last bolt here, and change out the header here because it's cracked. I always forget something like the O2 sensor, damn it. Alright, take a look here. It's hard to see. You can kind of tell it's been enlarged there, but it's all burnt up. So you can see it's pretty clean in there. This isn't paint on the engine. Everybody thinks I painted the block or something. It's been sandblasted, and I sandblasted every rocker arm in here one day and cleaned this whole engine when I rebuilt it. Z6 build right now. I'm going to break it down and show you what I got going on here with this. I'm going to start off with this sick ass valve cover I got here. Now, this was all my idea. I copied it from somebody a long time ago I saw on a post. And it took me a while to find this VTEC Honda valve cover. And as soon as I found one from the homie, I shaved it down and made it say what it says. So I like that. Again, I had all these valve covers done at Express, the powder coat place. Again, shout out to all you boys that work over there. This one here, I told them I didn't care what color they did it in. They could kind of have fun with it, and they did it in the wrinkle red, which looked real badass. You know, I like how it came out. They did a great job on this one. This one I had on D15 VTEC motor, and I had it polished, and I didn't do as good a job as this, so I had them do this one too, and they polished the hell out of it. So these two, I got them for sale, and I'm that guy that charges a ridiculous price. So if you want these, you better have a lot of cash or really good credit, because I'm not letting them go unless you make me an offer I can't refuse. I really like those, but you know what I'm saying, you can only use one at a time, and I'm definitely going to use this one right here. So let's get started with this engine breakdown now that you know why I'm the valve cover king. And boy, that one does look good on there. You get another look at that. Alright, we'll take a look at the head here. Now, I don't got everything I need. This is just going to be more of a list of everything I want to get and everything I need. Obviously, I'm going to need a cam. I want to get different valves and springs and retainers. I'm looking at the titanium type. I do have the rocker assembly here. I want to clean this all up and make sure the VTEC is working. I got my ARP head studs. I just got one in here right now to hold it down, but I do got all of them. What I don't have is the nut that goes on the top of them. I only got one. I got various parts from different people. I bought an engine. It was a Y8 engine from someone, and it came with head studs, and I took parts I needed like the pistons and stuff and sold the rest. But I kept these, so I need more ARP nuts. If anybody has some laying around, hit me up, I'll take them. This is just a regular Z6 head, PO8-2 if it'll focus. Oh my gosh. Alright, it's a PO8-2. I do want to put my skills to the test and try to port and polish the exhaust side on this one too. I don't know if I said it before. On the one I didn't do too perfect of a job on a few of the exhaust ports where the valves are. On the head that's on the car, I kind of went a little far, and you could kind of see some daylight through when I was done on the valves. So they're not perfect, but it's been running. It's got almost 10,000 miles on it. And then here we're looking at the block. This is probably where I'm going to start with the build. I think I have enough parts here to get going with this. It's just a regular Z6 block. Here's an adapter for the oil filter. It's I forget what it's called. It's an adapter so you can get some lines on it for like a feed and a return when you run a turbo. Here I got an aluminum oil pan. I don't know what brand it is. It's gonna take a special O-ring I've been looking for I can't find. If anybody knows what brand it is, put it in the comments or where I could find the O-ring, because I'm having a hard time. As you can see, it's already tapped for the return line for a turbo, and that is the route I'm planning to go here. Make big boy horsepower with this little Honda engine. Now I have a lot of crates. I got more crates, and in those crates I have a few different oil pumps. I got some stuff I want to do with that. If you guys know the Z6, they kind of shim it and grind a few things to make it flow better, so I'm probably going to do that. Now I got another block here because I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with first or which one is going to be easier to repair. They both have their different flaws here. This one has a big chunk missing on the motor mount bolt hole. It's all stripped out and a big chunk is missing. The one up here is stripped out. So I don't even know if that's repairable. If anybody can weld aluminum and then re-tap it, I think that's what has to be done. It's got a stripped bolt hole here for the transmission mount, which isn't really a big deal. I can tap that. The biggest deal on this one is the mount bolt. This one here, it's got a bunch of chunks eaten away. As you can see, somebody was just running water or let it overheat a bit. It's got a big chunk missing out of there. But if you watch the Boosted Boys, they put that blue gel in there. I think that's what I want to do with this one. I want to try it out. I got some OEM pistons. So one of these engines I'm going to build with my Vitara pistons and the Eagle rods I'm going to show you here in a second. And this one I'll probably use the OEM pistons I got over there. So with that being said, to continue with this, I want to get a block guard for here instead of doing the blue goo fill to reinforce the cylinder walls. That's what all that's for. Let's flip this over here. Now this does have a baffle that goes in here. I took it out right now because I want to clean everything inside of there. Alright, with the block here, what I got is some cranks over here. Let me take this stuff out of here. I got 2 girdles and 2 cranks. I want to get them checked out. One of them had a spun bearing. I think it's this one here on the top right. And the other one, I'm not too sure. It has some scores on the ends. But I think they both can be salvaged. I gotta find a machine shop to take those to. But once I get those in there, I got to notch the block. And if you Honda guys know with these D series, they do have some rods that are no notch from Speed Factory that I would love to get, but these are what I have and what I got. These are Vitara pistons that have the Teflon. They are used, but not too bad. They all still have the coating on them. I tried to clean them up. There's a number on them. I think that .50 is OEM spec. If anybody knows all the specs on these, let me know or put in the comments. But right now they automatically fit in my cylinder walls, and they all have piston rings and stuff, but I'm trying to find where to order new ones of these too. But they're on some Eagle rods. You can kind of see the logo there. Yeah, they're the H-beam rods, and they have some bearings. I think they're good. I'm going to try to use these bearings if these cranks are good down here when I get them all checked out. And these are OEM Z6 pistons that regularly go in this engine. And you can see the difference here. They're quite a bit larger. These ones are more of a what your girl told you, the guy you're not supposed to worry about. Yeah, so don't let her hang out with me. Now, being that I'm running those wide pistons to fit in these holes, they gotta notch the block here. So I literally gotta cut a notch in the perfect spot deep enough so everything can rotate. Because this engine was not meant to have those bigger rods. But that's gonna help me make some big boy horsepower once I get a turbo in this thing. So that'll be my first step in my next video, or the next engine build video, is notching the block and having those checked out at a machine shop and trying to get everything rotated. And I'll get a crank, I'll get the girdle on there with a flywheel and try to get the whole rotating assembly balanced and build the engine up. So that's going to be about it for this video. Stay tuned for my engine build and to see more I get into. I'm going to start the engine up and make sure everything's still working with what I did and whatnot. Stay tuned to see what all happens.